Hey guys, Jeff aka GCurse here. Welcome to another GCurse Reacts. If you are a Transformers fan, you were waiting for today because today it was the possibly the final Transformers fan stream for the year 2025. I think there may be one, maybe two more fan streams this year, but it really feels like they are winding down. They were talking about how they were like kind of wrapping up like for 2025 what they're going to show us. So I really don't think we're going to get that much more in the way of fan streams for the rest of this year. I think they kind of held off the biggest item that everybody was going to want for this upcoming for this year for 2025. And boy, did it you know did it kind of did it go out with a bang? I think it did, but we're going to see about that right about now. Okay, so let's pull up the video. Okay, just so everybody knows, one thing that I always kind of really rag on Hasbro about is that they will literally just they don't do any real edits to their finalized product. Now, what I mean is that this was pre-recorded, and basically for them streaming is basically uploading a video. I understand that when you stream that you have to have a little bit of like a slideshow. I don't like the idea, but it's a necessary evil. It helps build up the audience. But what Hasbro literally uploads to their YouTube page is the stream itself. They do not cut out the opening slideshow and the ending slideshow. This video here, let me pull it up. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so let me switch over to this. Hold on. There you go. So as you can see here, basically what I did was I ripped this from YouTube, and as you can see here, the video itself is 1 hour 18 minutes. Now, like I said, that is with the opening slideshow, which takes so fucking long, and the ending slideshow, which isn't that long at all, but still, it's a lot of cushion. I understand that they have this when they stream. However, you're telling me that they could not do an individual upload that basically edited out that content? And that isn't really content, because to me, you need to me, content is having somebody in front of the camera talking to you. It's literally just a slideshow of like the same 3 or 4 images for like 10 plus minutes. Anyway, 1 hour and 18 minutes is what this video went. After I edited it down and everything, as you can, well, you can't see it here. Let me do this. Let me turn off my. Let's see here. I normally don't have this. Okay, hold on. Oh, the other ones. Okay, hold on. As you can see here, oh, it's gonna be hard to see. Can I zoom in? No, I cannot. 50 minutes, 21 seconds. So I was able to cut off nearly goddamn over 10 minutes roughly of just a slideshow, and you could not do that. They could not do that. So that's something I always fucking rag on Hasbro about. They cannot do it. They just literally just upload it. Well, sir, that means that people who are wanting to watch the video, they're gonna have to watch, unless they know to skip through the slideshow. It's gonna be 10 minutes. Fuck it. Let them. They're fucking stupid. They'll sit and watch it. It's like, really, it's not a goddamn stream at this point. You're done streaming. It's just a video at this point. Okay, so let's actually continue, shall we?
All right, welcome Transformers fans to another Transformers Tuesday. I'm Nate, of course.
Okay, I will go on record and say I'm not sure what it is that changed. Maybe today I'm just not as critical as I am when it comes to these fan streams. But these two hosts here, I can't recall if they were the same host from before. I think the guy with the glasses was on the June 10th fan stream, but I'm not sure if Nate was. But anyway, I'm not sure what it is. But this time around, I just did not find myself disliking these hosts that much. Maybe it's, this combination. But last time, every time they do these fan streams, it just feels like it's like an ego stroke with these guys. And I'm like, I'm about ready to cash out, like I'm done, This time around, I can actually say I wasn't so much feeling that. I'm not sure, maybe these guys were a little bit more down to earth this time around and they were not so fucking like hyper, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but oh my god, it's so much better.
I'm Evan. Hi everybody. Evan's here with us. So excited to have you back. I like being in non-meetings with you. This is way more exciting. We've been talking about this fan stream for a while. Yes. I know there's a lot of things. 86 Megatron. Got it. Yep. He's here. Finally. Appreciate your patience. Not everything is always in our control when we reveal things, so really appreciate.
Okay. They don't say like overtly like here's a schedule, but they did give some information about how their scheduling works when it comes to the release of these figures, and I actually found that to be quite interesting, and they'll talk about that more in this video.
Your patience here. We're going to go over all the fine details of him. If you have any questions, please throw them in the comments. Again, we want to make sure that you guys have the information straight from.
See, this is something that drives me nuts. They're like, if you have any questions, throw it to us in the comments. And I'm pretty sure that they did, because people were talking up a storm when I was watching this on live stream. However, I did not so much really see that much in the way of replies from Hasbro. The only thing I can really say I saw from Hasbro was that they posted a poll. But I cannot recall actually seeing any response from Hasbro to this to the chatters, which makes me go on to say that this video is always fucking pre-recorded. It's fucking pre-recorded, and if I'm right and it is pre-recorded, why not just upload the goddamn pre-record itself? You can still do the stream, but just upload the pre-record where it doesn't have all that extra fucking bloat where I have to kind of edit it out.
The guy who designed it,
one of the designers.
One of the designers. Who was Takara on?
Yuya-san, over at Takara Tomy. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go out on record, and I said it before and I'll say it again. I don't care who makes these fucking figures. I don't care. Do you care who makes the pizza that you buy at Papa Murphy's? Do you care who it was that installed the engine in your vehicle? No, you just buy the figure. You buy the product.
Studio Series, no exclusives. We're going to go over a couple of them, but pre-orders, 1 p.m., all multi-channel. So it should be a lot simpler than the last speech I had for the pre-orders we had for Age of the Primes.
I think so. We may or may not have a few surprises.
Yes, we do have some, and I'm glad you mentioned that. So we are going to have our very first fan poll question.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited about. We often are saying, Evan, what do you think the fans would think about this? And you say this, most of the time we're aligned, sometimes we disagree. And this question, I think you're going to really like. So stay to the end, because we really want your answers. Truly, we really want your answer. This is yes or no question. I'm going to get into it later. We are also going to show.
Why not ask the fucking question now? Why not ask it now? If their whole reasoning is, well, if they don't stay, if we don't ask till the end, they may not stay. That's a load of that's a crock of shit. People are there to see the fucking figures. They're there to see the figures. That's why I was in the stream to watch the stream. I want to see the figures. Nobody, like 99.9999% of people are going to be like, you know what? They're not asking us any questions. I'm going to leave. No, they're not doing that, dude. They're not doing that. They just want to see the products. Excuse me. Just ask the fucking questions. Just ask the questions,
I think for the first time in a while, at least since Devastator, some gray models, early prototypes, and I believe this is the very first time you'll see any 2026.
Yes. Yep. We wanted to make sure we didn't just want to throw up through the space bridge. We wanted to actually show you some of the development, kind of let you guys see the very.
I can respect that. I like seeing prototype items and stuff.
Comets, which I think
That's actually something that pissed me off. Oh God, I think it was 2 years ago. It was when we were still in the Legacy Evolution time frame, and they did us through the space bridge. And this is actually something I talked about in a video a long time ago. Basically, the space bridge images are literally just like cartoon, like a cartoon basically showing what's going to be coming, but it's not an actual representation of the figure itself. It's just a cartoon of the character. They did a space bridge for Trashmaster. I think that's what its name was. And they didn't even have an image. It just literally said Trashmaster. And that just fucking pissed me off. It's like, really? Yeah, they were not asking for like concept, like gray, prototype figures to be shown on the space bridge segment. You could have literally just had, a drawing or something. You could have just done a drawing or something, and they did not do that, and that just fucking pissed me off.
It is.
so. We got a lot. So everyone's probably saying, "Can you please just show Megatron?"
Yes.
So let's show you Studio Series 86 Megatron Trust.
Oh my God, that fucking box. What I don't get is, why does Megatron get this treatment, but Optimus Prime gets this treatment? And hold on, I'll be right back with that. Optimus Prime, he gets this nice, huge fucking box with nice artwork. Look at that nice artwork. I know you can't really see that well, but it's an enclosed box. I still actually haven't opened this motherfucker up. I've had him since he came out, like, what was it, October, November-ish? And I still have not opened him up. I still got to open this guy up. However, Optimus Prime gets this treatment, but Megatron, he gets, the standard treatment, a windowed box with with the, primary and secondary mode. I'm not saying all characters should get this treatment. I'm not saying that all characters should. The fuck was that? I'm not saying that they all should. However, Megatron is not a bit character that appeared in one scene in season 4 of Transformers, the animated series, or the cartoon, or G1, basically. Megatron was literally there from the very first episode until the end of season 2, and then basically season 2 became the movie, and then we had season 3 and 4. But season 3 and 4, basically, Megatron was no longer Megatron, he was Galvatron. The guy is synonymous with Decepticons. You say Decepticons, you think Megatron. And it just seems to be a little bit, it's a weird option to go with this for Optimus Prime and a windowed box for Megatron. The only reason I could see them doing that was because Optimus Prime literally came with a shit ton of stuff. And if that's the case, then I can understand the box. But oh my God, look at that open real estate there. Why the fuck is that box so empty? Why shouldn't Megatron be more near the middle of that window? Look at this, he's off to the side. Why the fuck is there this much empty space in this box if you're not going to add anything to it?
We know that you've seen images of this, so again, appreciate your patience, but now we have the Hasbro design with Evan. So Evan, please.
It's Megatron. It's 86 Megatron. I know everybody's been waiting for this guy for quite a while. Really happy that
He actually looks pretty good. I have to be honest, he looks pretty good. Do I wish that he was a gun? Yeah, but I also understand that shit has changed and everything. So you can't get the gun that he used to be. I can understand that. What I cannot forgive is the lack of fucking accessories, though. Granted, he has some accessories here you'll see, but when you're comparing the leader of the Decepticons, once again, to the leader of the Autobots, you would expect he should have a shit ton of more stuff. Have him come with where's like that Energon mace? He doesn't have the Energon mace. Instead, he has that laser sword. I would have given him that Energon mace also. If you're going to, sell this figure at the price point that he is, he needs to come with a little bit more.
We finally got him out there. Yuya-san did an absolutely fantastic job on the design. It really just all came together in the end. I don't know. Where do I even begin? What are your questions?
I have. So the question, obviously, I've seen you be interviewed at last year's Comic-Con. This is a discussion that's been around for, goodness, probably decades at least.
A couple years. Ever since I've been doing like San Diego Comic-Cons.
I'm not saying that he shouldn't come with the sword. I like the sword. That's a cool idea. I just think he should also have the mace. That would have gone with, complemented, this guy. It would have complemented this guy. It would have also gone all the way back to, what was it, episode 1 or 2 or 3 years. It was when they were on Sherman Dam, I think that's what it was called, and Megatron and Optimus Prime were fighting with their Energon weapons. That would have been fucking awesome. I like the sword, don't get me wrong. But I always say that you should give the customer, give the consumer as much as physically possible. And when that box is empty, as empty as it is, here, let's go back. Let's go back here. By the way, we are at 3:02. Hold on. When this box is as empty as it is, there is enough there to put a few more accessories, especially in this open slot right next to Megatron. You could put in that Energon mace. You could hell, what about that little piece of rock, that little spiky rock thing that he threw at Optimus Prime during the fight? You could have added so much more. And look, his fusion cannon. It's all the way off to the left side of the box here. You can barely see it. It's hiding behind the conversion information. By the way, 54 steps of conversion. But yeah, it's just like it just seems like they did not. They didn't give it as much accessories as they should have.
It's at least
a couple years. Ever since I've been doing like San Diego Comic-Cons, we've always gotten the question of blaster or tank, and I've always been very upfront that he will always be a tank, just because we can't.
Legal. Yeah, it is a legal toy guidelines. I mean, that's about as transparent as we can get. That's literally what the issue is.
As much as people don't like the idea, I don't like the idea. But I'm not going to go out there and fucking throw a fit about it. And that's a lot of people do not like this figure based on it's a tank. Things change. We should be lucky we're even getting a Megatron in Studio Series like this. I would rather have a Megatron that turns into a tank than not have anything at all.
We're not trying to change canon, but I do love, at least in Transformers Devastation, where he's a tank. I've, grew up with him as a blaster, but also
let's say it, and I think I even said it. I'm not sure. I can't recall if I just said blaster. He's a gun. He's a gun. Stop saying blaster. There's no reason to be so fucking chicken shit with your language. It's a gun. It isn't something to be ashamed of. This is what he was before. He was a gun. Why are we feeling the need to be so fucking afraid to face the past? It's that old saying, those who do not learn from the past are doomed to repeat it again. And by saying blaster, he was a blaster. No, he was a gun. He was a gun. By refusing to say gun, you're kind of dooming yourself to repeat it.
I think kind of grown into the tank. I think personally, I like the tank better. Controversial, maybe. I know people are on both sides of it, but here we are.
Yep. We wanted to give you both, though. So he does come with his tiny blaster form that you can use for any of your other Decepticons to hold. My favorite is Starscream, obviously, when he holds it and goes.
I actually have Megatron as a blaster. Well, a little accessory as part of the. God, I can't recall what it was called, but it came as a weapons pack back in War for Cybertron's Earthrise, I think it was.
Ooh. I mean, blows Braun away. To be honest, when we were first talking about revealing him before he got revealed, I was just gonna put the blaster on the table and just leave the tank off. And
We got
just be-
scooped.
Well, yeah, a little bit, and just be like, "Look, we figured out mass compression." And then it's like, "Oh no, not really." But really, just happy with this figure overall. I guess some of the finer details that we really.
That is a nice fucking figure. That is a nice figure. That looks fucking nice. Not that much in the way of backpack. Leg kibble is a minimum. I like what they did here. Holy shit, that looks nice.
Whenever he fires his blaster in the animation, he's always holding it like this, like with his hand like that. And I'm assuming that's because that's how the original toy was back in the day. So, but in modern comics, they always kind of put his hand down.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
in the animation, he's always holding it like that. So he can do both. Whatever you guys want to do right there. But yeah, he comes with a sword that he uses to almost fatally wound Optimus Prime. That was something that we wanted to put in there as a good representation of the 86 scene to do that.
The only thing I would have done differently with the sword, I would have had that sword be two pieces. There'd be the hilt and then there'd be the blade. That way, if you want to display Megatron holding the sword and it's not powered up, you could have it hanging like, say, his hip. And then with the blade off, with the blade being detached, it would make it look like the sword wasn't powered up. Yeah, I like that. And then you could also possibly use that blade as like blast effect for the cannon.
Height. Here you go, Megatron. Here. So he's a little bit taller.
Previous release items shown, each sold separately. We are so fucking stupid as a society nowadays. We need to put these warnings up. They're sold separately, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, am I going to get Optimus Prime? People are so fucking stupid that they will see this and they're, oh, I'm going to get Optimus Prime, and they order Megatron, and they'll get Megatron. We're like, where's Optimus? Well, it was not meant to, you were not meant to get Optimus. It was just a display. People are fucking stupid.
Than Optimus, as I think everybody agrees he should be. So here he is next to Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. It's a couple millimeters taller, so he has just great proportions.
I really gotta get this guy
really
out of the
wanted to
box.
make
I
sure
gotta
I
get him
get
out
in
of the
there and
box.
get that. Obviously, in tank mode, rolls. This tank turret rotates.
Well, I'd hope that it would roll. I would hope it would roll.
How you landed on this form of the tank?
Oh, certainly. So after doing some research, this is actually we based it off of a prototype tank that was never produced in the 80s, and it ended up being called like the Armored Blaster System or something like.
Let's do some quick research. Hold on. Tank prototype. I'm just seeing if they actually have. Oh Jesus Christ! I'm not sure which one of these it could be. Yeah, I was hoping that they would actually have it like a unified picture. Like, here's what it was, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like we're going to. There's a lot of stuff here. Okay. Let's try 1980s. I'll be honest, I don't know what the fuck to look for, so let's just return to the video.
Yeah, it's like that's perfect. That's
Yeah,
that is
sounds like a
that is
Transformers.
literally that's literally what Megatron should be. So that's what we based a lot of this off of, and Yugi-san just did a great job. We like in the original kickoff doc over to Takara Tomy, I kind of put in, it's like, it would be great if we could actually focus a lot of the tank transformation into the legs, because he has a lot of leg mass. So there's a lot that you could hide in there, and we didn't want to give him like a monstrous backpack, which we've been doing.
Yeah, I would like to think that one of these days, in 10, 20 years, that all Transformers will be like this, where you don't have like huge fucking backpacks, that somehow they will be able to kind of get everything put into the body itself, similar to this, or something with like Optimus Prime over here, yeah.
And yeah, it gave him a nice, sleek silhouette. Yeah, I'm just really happy.
It's incredibly sleek, and I think if you could,
It looks nice. Don't get me wrong, it looks nice. I cannot wait to get this figure, when it arrives. I actually already got this figure pre-ordered. I was literally checking out Amazon every couple seconds like a crackhead, waiting for this thing to appear.
that this converts into a tank is the treads, which you can kind of see on the back,
Hanging out
legs.
on the back of his legs.
Other than that, I mean, are there any details I'm missing? But other than that, I really don't even see anything that is not from like even like season 1, season 2.
No, to reference the masterpiece, obviously, if you want to play with that toy, it's
Okay, let's move to the next item. Okay, let's resume from here. Yeah, so here up next we have something that a lot of people wish that they could get.
Of course, yes, the rumors are true. The unchanged, non-redecoed. This is the original sculpt. You know us. We love our
original
Dinobots.
flavor,
Yeah,
perhaps?
original flavor.
Yeah.
So of course, 86 Grimlock. Completely understand. This was the first Dinobot we did.
Yep.
Goodness, when was that? 2020?
2021.
Around there. So like
Yeah.
kind of
Roughly, it was a little over a year ago. I actually bought Grimlock from a third-party seller. I ended up paying nearly $300 for it. And the thing is, yes, at that time it was rumored. It was rumored that they were going to release this figure. But the thing is, I just did not want to wait. And if it turned out to be a rumor and they were actually just not actually going to do a re-release of this figure, then I would have possibly put myself at a position that I'd have to pay even more. Yeah, $300 is a lot. It's a lot. But ultimately, I think it falls on the person who's buying. Is it worth it? And I never had a Grimlock when I was growing up. I finally got my first Grimlock in Power of the Primes, but that thing was small. It's a nice idea, but I wanted something a little bit bigger. And if I held off in hopes of this figure coming out, then the figure could have become like $400, $500, $600. Is it a bitter pill to swallow? Fuck yeah, it is a very bitter pill to swallow. But I'm happy with what I have. But I'm also happy that people are going to get their chance to get this figure.
time. So, and I think a lot of people were getting back into Transformers collecting.
Yeah.
And honestly, a huge part of that is, COVID, but also what you and Mark have done and just the designs. And obviously with Takara Tomy, just the designs, your articulation, the details are just, you guys have really taken it to different levels. So people are like, oh my gosh, this is not what I remember Transformers being like.
When Grimlock came out, this figure came out, it was either just before or just after the time my mom passed away. And at that time, everything just stopped for me. I didn't want to do anything because it's like I told my friends before. When my mom died, it's like a fuse was blown in me. For nearly a year, hobbies, I had no hobbies. Literally all that was left for me was work and sleep. Work and sleep. Work and sleep. And because of this, a lot of Transformer figures fell by the wayside, and I spent the last few years now having to kind of make up lost ground. Make up lost ground. And this figure, not only was did this figure come out just around the time my mom passed away, I never even saw this figure in any of the stores where I live. So basically, yeah, I missed out, but I'm glad that other people actually have a chance to get this figure now.
Tron kind of
He set the standard.
setting, yeah, exactly, setting the pace here, exactly. So we've got 2 for our final wave in Voyager. Evan's grabbing those right now, and that is going to be, which one do you want to do first?
Okay, let's kind of just scroll up to that.
First,
We're gonna start with Thundercracker.
Thundercracker. So thank you for grabbing all of the Seekers.
This was actually
This
was actually the first figure I was able to pre-order today. I had like numerous tabs open on my internet browser, and like I had one tab for Megatron, one tab for Thundercracker, one tab for Bone Crusher. What was it, Bone Crusher? And one for Mixmaster. I think that may have been it. I can't recall exactly all the ones I pre-ordered today. I'll do like a final roundup at the end of this video. But like this was the first one I came across on Amazon today. And as soon as this guy showed up, I'm like, I pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered it.
It's a blue jet. And everybody just yeah, and that was pretty much it. They weren't exactly sure who he was, but they were like, it's a blue jet.
It just looks cool.
Yeah, and he just looks cool.
It doesn't take much more than that.
Yeah.
As I'm looking at this, the figure, in its alt mode here, if you take off the accessories and you just have the jet mode itself, it looks kind of like a especially from the side profile, it kind of looks like a larger version of what Laserbeak looked like his Cybertronian mode.
So, War for Cybertron Thundercracker.
Yeah.
Here he is with the other Seekers. Happy to complete this trio. Obviously, this was done by Tomo-san, who has done all of these. And something that we wanted to do was we wanted to make sure that each head had a unique expression for all of them. And what we did is we actually followed the in-game models for some of their coloring. And what that means is if you watch any of the cutscenes in the game, they actually all have very different eye colors, which I thought was very interesting. Instead of all the Seekers having red eyes, they all kind of very.
I didn't know that.
And then Thundercrackers are actually kind of yellow, which was interesting. So we wanted to follow that, even though the art always shows them as red. Old game, they didn't exactly follow all the art when they were actually making the assets. We understand that working on movie stuff,
Yes, we
working on
do.
concept art constantly, but happy to get that out there. He comes with essentially a expanded sized version of like the classic machine gun, machine blaster, and then he has his melee weapon that they all kind of came with. But yeah, here he is. There's Thundercracker.
Oh, looks awesome. And this.
Yep.
So how do you?
The question is, how many more Seekers am I going to get? I got all the Seekers from Combiner Wars. Yeah, Combiner Wars. I got them all from War for Cybertron Siege. Now, when I say War for Cybertron, like when I name a product line, I got the available Seekers because some of them, were like pre-order or like exclusives. But I got all of them basically. I got all the Seekers from, like I said, Combiner Wars, from Power of the Primes was just Starscream in that one. I got all the Seekers from War for Cybertron series, so basically that entire product line. And then I got like the Studio Series Bumblebee edition. It's like how many is too many? Holy shit! I could open up like a museum just based off of, like the Seekers alone.
I know we're talking about character selections all the time. How do you choose the rollout of the Seekers? Have we always done Starscream first?
Sometimes. I think Starscream's always the guarantee because he's the
course.
Seeker that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Like, name-wise, it's like, oh, that's Starscream. He's the Jet. Blue is my favorite color, so I would always lean towards Thundercracker.
I actually like purple more than the blue. I like Skywarp, his coloring, more than Thundercrackers.
But more often than not, Starscream will usually lead the way since he's the leader of the Seekers. But yeah, here you go. You can complete your trio now.
Okay, so let's move on to the next figure. Okay, so before I continue on, basically, I just want to show you. Here I have Starscream from the War for Cybertron Gamer Edition, along with Skywarp. If you're wondering, Jeff, if you still have them in the box, why haven't you opened them up? And it's just quite simple. I'm not like a collector in box. It's just time. I buy these figures with the hopes of opening them up like when I have break from work. And a lot of the time, like now, I've been trying to get a review out for this little guy. It is the concept art Rumble. But, with this last year of work, it was pretty stressful, and I'm just trying to decompress still, I guess you could say. But yeah, I have so many of these figures in their boxes still, and I figure when I'm on vacation, I'll start opening them up and everything, and it's just a matter of timing. But anyway, this figure coming up is actually a figure I was really kind of curious about because of the fact that I've already started investing in some of these figures already. So here, let me just make sure the audio is okay. There you go. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we?
Cement mixer. A classic 80s cement mixer.
Exactly.
Before modern designs got weird.
I already got a couple of these guys. The first two that came out. I'm waiting for Long Haul and Hook. They should be arriving in the next month, hopefully. There's all we have left is like Mixmaster, and the other one I think it's Bone Crusher or something like that. But yeah, then I will have all of Devastator.
The sticker. So that's definitely one of the reasons. Obviously, all the Constructicons were done by Hisui-san over at Takara Tomy, who also worked on the previous version of Devastator. So taking a lot of learnings from that, putting them in here. It's a fantastic figure. He's a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoy.
No, like I said, I love this one.
Yeah.
And to get him again, just all in 1 year, still incredibly excited. I'm still
He
waiting.
looks pretty nice. He looks nice. Do not get me wrong. He looks nice. I cannot wait to actually get this guy in hand if I can ever get him out of the box once he arrives.
Obviously, lots of the pieces you guys are already collecting, so really excited to see that. I think no surprise that Devastator was going to be a huge hit with the fans.
Yep.
So really excited to get this out there. Again, the patience that you've shown to wait until this point is impressive. But we're finally getting them out here. Do you want to get the other guy?
Yeah, let's just jump right to
Yeah,
him, and
let's
then we'll
let's
Yeah.
straight to us. I know there's been some images online of Scrapper, but also Devastator. So let's bring out Scrapper. Can you?
You want to put
Oh,
the next
Scrapper's
one?
the other
Yeah,
one.
and
Sorry.
Can you talk about? Because I see on the fan channels a lot of conversation on the scales, and it seems like a lot of fans understand scale is not like Deluxe equals 4 inches and Voyager equals 6
Not
inches.
anymore.
Can you
Yeah.
kind of go into a little explanation on how you determine scales and really what it's really more the price point? It's not even really necessarily the height.
Okay, so are they trying to get us ready down the road for a 1-inch figure to be like $100? Because if that's the case, well, it's not so much about the height anymore, or because I've heard everything from it's the height, it's the amount of steps, it's the quality. I've heard everything when it comes to what makes a a classification of these figures and everything, and the price point. But the fact that he's saying, well, it's it's basically the price point. Does that mean that sooner or later these little fucking figures here will go for like $100? I don't like the thought of that. I do not like the thought of that at all.
Of the figure with the size of like Bumblebee's a really good example in Deluxe, where he's typically smaller, but where you're able to have like more deco and more accessories.
It is true. When we bump it up to Voyager, we have more tooling available towards us, which is usually what we need for internals on a lot of like these figures. So that's one of the big differences between like Mixmaster and Scavenger.
Sorry, I said
Yeah.
Scrapper.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I have a weird dyslexic thing where I always mix them up as well. But yeah, thank you. So one of the reasons, obviously, then is, as I said before, Mixmaster has a ratchet actually built into the side of his waist. And that's because when he becomes Devastator, he needs that to support the full body and might of 5 other robots combined onto him. Which actually, speaking of...
Yeah, let's bring him out.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that. Does that look nice?
Devastator right
Doesn't
here.
that look nice? That looks fucking awesome.
Mighty Devastator. But yeah,
He looks
I think
nice.
it came together quite well.
Awesome.
Just it has you in silence. Just
No, I mean it's just. I mean, I've had the previous version on my desk for so long, and like.
Okay, they're going to actually do a size comparison pretty quickly. I think it's 86 Optimus Prime that they're going to bring out to do a comparison with, and I'll give you my thoughts about that when it happens.
Ask on what they're looking for, but I think you guys just did such an incredible job, and it scales so well. Do you mind grabbing actually Optimus?
Here it comes.
Right.
You've got Optimus? Oh
Yeah.
Let's read this.
So again, to show the scale, which is like critical, because again, there's times where we have so many conversations about scale, and I know you are such a purist when it comes to like 86 is scale, and I know the.
Okay, I actually like this scale. A lot of people are like, combiners should be fucking huge. And I'll be honest, it doesn't make sense when they're huge for me. The combiners that I have from the first combiners I ever got were from the Combiner Wars. And I think that they were literally classifying those guys as like Titan class. And here, hold on. I actually have a picture I'll show you right here. Okay, so as you can see here, I have my, these are the only 2 figures I've actually ever combined. We have, I have Devastator and Predaking here. These, Predaking was from Power of the Primes and Devastator was from Combiner Wars. I'm not saying to not make these figures larger because, you are basically stacking figures on top of each other. I understand that. Do not get me wrong. I do understand it. But I think that they should not be the point that, from what I heard, that these figures are supposed to be like Titan class. It's like they're combiners. They're combiners. I'm expecting them to be a little bit taller, yeah, because you're stacking them. But don't make it so ridiculous that they're like tall. Literally, they make it sound like, you know, Combiner Wars figures could actually take on, let's say, Metroplex, for example, or Fort Max, you know, and I don't think they should be that huge. Yeah, you're standing them on top of each other, but they should not be huge though. So I actually like the way that the Optimus Prime scales with this Devastator here. I actually like it a lot.
Fans appreciate, and you can see that actually. Do you might grab a Grimoire too? I mean, might as well we have them show really the kind of.
Oh, I should have brought Sludge so we can pick him up and throw him.
Now this is actually something I was actually curious about. Like, how does Devastator scale with the Dinobots? Because you have that scene in the movie where the Dinobots were taking on Devastator, and I was actually wondering that to myself when I originally saw this. I'm like, are they going to show that? And thankfully they do.
With the eyes out of his.
Yeah. Oh god, I did not understand what was happening when I was a kid watching that scene. Funny story about Devastator is many years ago when Takara Tomy came to visit us,
Yeah.
and we were talking about what was going to happen in the future, and we were like, "Oh, so what are some ideas that you're thinking about?" We were out to dinner, and I was just talking with Hisui-san, and it was like, "Oh, I think Devastator would be very fun to do."
Yeah.
Before we even kicked it off, the next time they came and visited, he brought a block model, and it was just like, "Oh, okay, you've been thinking about
Yeah,
this."
that's exactly.
Yeah, and everybody's reaction was, "Whoa, Devastator!" And everybody got super excited about it. It got everybody on board because we were still kind of hesitating if we were going to do it all in 1 year or space it out from 2 years.
Here is my hot take. Here's my hot take, and you know, basically that's what it is. It's a hot take. If you release a combiner team, it should be done within the same year. It should be done within the same year. That way you can expect, you know, if they show, let's say a Mixmaster, for example, let's say he was the first one that they show off. That way you can actually anticipate, okay, 2025 we're getting all of Devastator. And then let's say 2026 we're going to get all of Bruticus, but we're actually getting Whirl, not Whirl. God, I can't recall what his name is. It's one of the Combaticons that they already announced. But I think that combiners should be all released in that team should be released in that 1 year.
Seeing the block model in person when they brought it, it shifted to we have to do it all in 1 year. So it's very exciting. It's just fun to do a combiner for 86 in Studio Series.
And that was one of the differences from Menosaur, where, if I remember correctly, you developed Devastate all the pieces together, which is what you're just talking about, versus kind of in stages previously.
Normally, when we design combiners, everything is usually started all at once.
Yep.
In very rough form factors, a block model. Menosaur was also developed like that, but at the end, the final piece had to be moved out of wave due to some logistics stuff that came up, but that happens.
That's the thing. They should literally kind of, the minute that they start talking about, okay, let's do a combiner, they should instantly start figuring, okay, we're going to do a combiner. We need to decide, we need to get it out within a year. None should be overlap with another set. If they like, well, we already got, like, say we got 5 of the 6 Constructicons, we're ready. The 6th and final piece will be, you know, let's say whatever the next set is, you know. They'd be like, no, we need that. They need to be all in the same year. If need be, take one of the figures that is already possibly planned for coming out this year, move it to next year. It needs to stay as a team. That way people, you know, don't forget that they need to get that final part. That they can anticipate every couple months there's going to be a new combiner that comes out. Devastator has 6 pieces, and one new piece every 2 months. That would be enough to get it through the year, basically.
But this one, we made sure everybody in 1 year. Well, yeah, It's Devastator. I'm pretty happy with him, and I hope you all are as well. And
Yeah, he actually
I
looks
hope
pretty
you all
damn
have
good.
fun building and playing with him.
It looks pretty damn good.
Any more details on Scavenger? Just want to make sure we don't just kind of go straight to.
I'll be honest, I'm just not a fan of those legs. I understand. Well, Jeff, it's cartoon accurate, and I understand that. But I have, oh god, I can't recall what the name is. I have on the shelf in the box the one that has like all green legs, and it just looks so weird. It looks so weird.
Devastator, but if there's anything on Scavenger you want to highlight?
He's an excavator. He's a solid figure. He has all the standard articulation that he needs to have for a deluxe. It's one of those things where when you're talking about the individual Constructicons, I immediately go to, well, they make Devastator, so let's talk about Devastator. Yeah. I hope you all enjoy him.
And to just say again, I know we've talked about this with fans.
Okay, here, let's actually move on to the next figure. Alrighty, so we have the next figure, and this is actually a figure that I'm not really that hyped for. I bought some of these figures, or this one product line, but it isn't like literally driving me to want to go and get the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and here it is.
Well, I mean, so we just did Scavenger. You want to do Alita 1 since we've already had her pre-order?
Certainly.
So here's obviously Transformers 1, Alita 1. So we...
And I know people are going to get upset because for some reason, it's so fucking divided, this goddamn movie, when it comes to, this movie when it comes to the fandom. You either liked the movie or you absolutely hated it. It isn't that I absolutely hated it. It just wasn't for me. And to me, it literally looked like aliens wearing battle armor. That's the best way I can really say it. It looks like aliens wearing battle armor. They did not look like robots to me. But anyway, I see here, I bought 2 of the figures in this previous summer. I bought Optimus Prime Studio Series, and oh god, I can't recall what its name is. Sentinel Prime. Oh, Sentinel Prime. What's it really say? So I'm not really jumping at the bit to buy these figures. I mean the Optimus Prime and the Sentinel Prime may be the only ones I ever get from Transformers 1. It's not meant for me.
As well. She has great articulation. She's got knees, ankles.
Well, I would hope that she would have great articulation. I am glad that they are talking about articulation. That is something I actually do kind of rag on them always about, that they kind of leave out the articulation. But it's also, at this point, it's kind of like it's kind of just expected. Yeah, for $30 plus for a lot of these figures, 50, 60 depending on the class and everything. Yeah, they better have articulation. Like
when she transforms and it becomes her chest. It's very fascinating.
Oh, wow.
So the wheels actually fold, but then they can still rotate. So it's very unique. It's something that I don't think we've done before. So...
I definitely don't recognize that.
Whoops. No.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, like I said before, I don't know what it is with these two presenters, these two hosts, or whatever you want to call them. I like these two more than the previous guys. It could have been the same 2 guys, but I'm not sure what it is. Something is just different this time around. It isn't like that they're so hyped it's literally turning me off. I understand their excitement, but at points it literally felt like more like an ego stroke with these guys. And this time around, they seem to be so fucking more down to earth. And as you can see here, we got Transformers 1 Starscream.
Teaches us.
This is final.
This is final?
Yeah.
Look at him.
No, you're mixing up. It's okay.
I'm not gonna buy him.
Obviously, understand how much people are loving Transformers 1, as we did as well. I remember when we got the early screening, we were very nervous walking in, and then we walked out. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! We love this, and our fans are gonna love this." So obviously, Transformers 1 is going to continue to be a lineup that we continue to flesh out. Of course, as you were just.
Well, it can only have so much fleshing out, because as much as people don't want to admit it, the product line is dead. There is no more Transformer 2 coming out. So they got, once they get done with these guys, unless they literally do figures for every character that was in that movie, it's gonna run out pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
which is great for people who love the Seekers. As a toy designer who's used to just redecorating, it's a lot of work.
One mold to rule them all.
Oh, not anymore.
Yeah,
Not anymore. So expect that at some point in the future. So people are probably interested. It's like, what's going on with this blaster? When Starscream transformed into his Tetrajet mode, they based it very much off of like the Bumblebee movie design, which was based off of obviously the original Tetrajet from the '84 series. So we had like these kind of protrusions down here, and transformation wise, when we are trying to figure it out, we was like, okay, what do we do with those? Oh, okay, we'll make them pop up and be a blaster. Kunihiro's absolutely brilliant. When he was digging into the weeds of this, he was like, okay, and then when we do this, this, and this, we can partial this later to make this. And it's like, yes, that's wonderful. That's lovely. Thank you. But yeah.
Okay, so there was that. Let's move on to the next figure. Okay, so up next we have a figure that I am not buying at all. And it's just because it's a Michael Bay figure, and I'm not into Michael Bay, those Transformer movies. But I can understand that people do like them, so that's why I am leaving this segment included.
Concept series.
One of my favorite things that you
Kind of.
brought into the line. But this is where we were talking before the fans were. Please dive deep.
I can actually give them respect for doing these concept series. Figures that you would never have expected to actually make it to retail are actually getting a chance now. Like, let's say for example, for Concept Rumble here. He's in his alt mode right now. But yeah, I never thought we were going to get this guy, but we actually did.
Talk to us about color choice, the design choice, the history from the film, and then why this toy is the toy.
So, I guess I'm going to start with, worked with Kunihiro-san at Takara Tomy on this. So, absolutely brilliant transformation. It's a lot of fun. So,
I'm one of the type of people that do not really transform these figures. The only reason I transformed this guy is because he's part of a review that I'm trying to fucking get out. It's just with me being on vacation and trying to rest and recuperate and everything. It's just I don't do it, it's just I'm procrastinating, to be honest.
Film. Yes. So they changed designs, they changed direction. That happens. And we loved that concept art quite a bit. And we wanted to bring it into our toy line. So we were like, oh, well, she was obviously red in the concept art because that's what Steamer's colors were. So we're just like, oh, let's just color grade this. Oh, look, orange. Yeah, it's close enough. And we think this turned out great. We gave her a little half cape on the back because that's kind of what her concept art showed as well. And it actually just kind of fit really well with her form factor. A lot of her concept art showed her leaning incredibly more feminine, and there's not a lot of female Decepticon representation in live action, unless you count like Alice, and then you go into the Bumblebee movie. Exactly. Pretenders, I don't know if they count.
Okay, so let's move on to the next figure. Up next, we have a set of figures, and I'll be honest, I'm just not really feeling it, so I'm probably not going to buy these. In the future, I may get the follow-ups to the next series, because they're anticipating this on being like a long-running series, and here it is.
And Starscream did that pre-order a few months ago. This has been really kind of Evan's passion project, taking inspiration from other 90s toy lines where you get your top 4 characters in all sorts of different ages and times. And
now, like I said, I don't know what it is. It's not doing it for me. I don't know what it is. It's just it's not. They said that they plan on doing different incarnations of these characters, every release. So we'll see what there is down the road. But right now, these 4 right here, I'm not feeling it.
And we'll have more details on the pre-order date as well, but these will be at San Diego Comic-Con. Wanted to make sure we show them off as the 2025 set. So Evan, take it away.
Yeah, this was obviously something that I've been trying to get going for a couple of years, actually.
Yeah.
It didn't actually start with this, but it was just kind of pulling from comic books and things like that, different representations of these characters and how they've shown up. And then someone was like, well, what about Hearts of Steel? And it's like, yes.
Do you like trains, Evan?
Just a little bit. just a little bit. Once or twice, my parents might have said that if somebody wasn't a train, I didn't love them. Yeah.
I'm not sure that's changed.
No, probably not. But yeah, just these are fantastic designs. We're happy to finally get them out there. If fans are super into them, hopefully we can dig more into this universe because there are some fantastic other character designs that show up.
Shockwave.
Yeah, everybody brings up
Everybody
Shockwave.
brings up Shockwave.
But yeah, would love to get them out there. As you said, Megatron Bumblebee available first time at San Diego.
See now, buy now at San Diego Comic Con. These two, Optimus and Starscream, are available for pre-order right now.
Yep.
And that's a
Well, if you're at San Diego Comic Con, you can get that new set that's coming out, and apparently the other set, it's already out.
but really excited about this one. How did you land on Hearts of Steel? And then second, do you think we should do another age of something for 26?
I mean, we are.
Cheesy question, but what can you tell us about 26?
Okay, I think this is what I was referring to in the very beginning of this video, that they kind of filled us in on how the process works, and I never knew that. I thought that basically what I thought was that they had a long spanning, like a roadmap, like how video game developers have a roadmap for their games. I thought it was like a roadmap that they had. 2025 we were going to do Age of the Primes. 2026 Age of the Primes, Fall of the Autobots, or whatever you want to call it, whatever the sequel is. 2027, 2028, 2020. I thought it was going to go for like 10 plus years. Actually, you're going to hear it right here. It's not that long. It's only like roughly 2.5 years.
What can I tell you about 26? What am I allowed to tell them about 26? I guess, hey, it's coming. It's going to be the same 4 characters again, but in a different theme.
Yeah.
I do want to say that these 4 were done by Ajima-san. I just wanted to make sure to get that out there. Over at Takara Tomy, which is they're fantastic. Of course, they're always fantastic.
I love the Megatron.
Yeah, the Megatron turned out great. Yeah, they turned out so good. But yes, we will be continuing to dig into universes. I will say next year's theme is actually a little bit more original.
I was just going to say that. So obviously we had the comic books that you were referencing off of, and so there's story and lore that matches these. The next set of 4, so yes, more timelines are coming.
Yeah.
And it'll be very similar. Another multi-pack of Optimus and Starscream, another multi-pack of Megatron and Bumblebee. Would love to hear, number one, what you think it might be, and then would love to hear, like, oh my gosh, if they're going to do this, you should do Age of fill in the blanks.
It would actually be fun if you would comment and tell us what themes you think would be fun to do.
Because this is really like white space lore that for 26 you're creating, which I think I know that you guys love new alt forms, new stories, which I think is a huge part of why Age of the Primes is doing so well. Obviously, Mark's designs are insane, but also just adding lore to a lot of things like, this is my favorite theory. This is my favorite. And then like Mark is really kind of putting flesh to the bone on this is what Onyx Prime looks like. This is what my Cronus Prime. So this is, I love what you've been doing on the timeline stuff. So more to follow on those, as I mentioned, available for pre-order right now. And then these will be on site at San Diego Comic Con. And then we'll give you further details on when the actual pre-order will go live.
Yep. Sounds good to me. So
I love the packaging. Packaging is awesome. I know I've started to see people getting these,
okay, I'm just going to skip forward. Okay, so up next we have a concept right now. It's not even like concept figure. It's literally just a concept, or the gray figure, as they like to call it. I think that's what they call it. In the previous segment, I was wrong. I thought that they were going to mention how they have it planned out. I may have gone past that point because, like I said, what you're watching on YouTube, I'm kind of trying to streamline it, so I'm not talking, during the entire video. I'm trying to streamline a little bit, so I may have missed it. You can actually see it in the full video. I'll put the link to the full video that Hasbro released, so you can see it in its entirety. But yeah, they talked about how literally they have 2.5 years. Like right now, they're literally working. I think that they're working on this stuff for late 2026, 2027. And like I said, I thought they had a roadmap where 10 years out, and that they may have already been in 2029 or whatever. That's not the case. They're actually just a couple years ahead of us right now.
2026 Studio Series.
So we're gonna start with, I think, one of the people's biggest requests, Arachnid.
Oh my Gosh, I didn't realize how tall she was.
Well, she's a deluxe, and I know I'm gonna get comment flame for that. Make her a deluxe, but I'm sorry. At the time when we were developing her, from the height chart, that made the most sense. But now when we watch the movie, I don't know if they're angling her to look a little bit bigger, but it made sense at the time. That's how I'm gonna word it. But
I mean, she's thin,
yeah,
but she's significant. Like, I think if you had showed this to me and just you give me your best bet, I think I might. I mean, it's like a deluxe plus. Let me grab actually Starscream.
yep.
They give a obviously want to always show the scale we can within universes. Or I'll let you.
Yeah, it's okay. But working with the Ajima-san on Arachnid, we wanted to make sure to get her out there. She has movable legs that are on ball joints, so they can manipulate and go all around. And I guess I should state, these are gray models.
Yes,
That's what we are
yes,
showing off
Gray models, that's what they called it.
right now. For 2026, we're kind of giving you a sneak peek. This is essentially our first kind of prototype that we make, and we also like base instructions off of these models. We wanted to bring them in and just show them off instead of just dropping an image.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I have to say the wizardry that Ajima-san worked to make this happen. Like, people who have been watching our streams, there was a joke I made about going back and forth with, it's gotta be a Voyager. No, we can get it to deluxe. This was her. That was where that interaction was coming from. She somehow still has a moving propeller, even though her legs merged together to kind of form that in the back. We did sort of had to make up her legs a little bit. In the movie, she just has, I almost want to call those the prosthetic legs where it's like a flexible material. She doesn't have a heel. For a toy, we had to give her a heel so that she can support.
Okay, now I don't know much about this lore. When they've been talking about this figure, I originally thought that the figure was, let's see here. Hold on, let me pull it up. Oh god, I don't Arachnid. Arachnid? I think that's how you pronounce it. Or spell it. I may be wrong. Transformers Prime. Oh, it's just Arachnid. Okay. I thought it was this figure that they were, or this character that they were talking about, but I'm not sure if it is or not. If you're watching this and you're a fan of Transformers, can you let me know, is it Arachnid, from the Prime universe, or is this from, because they mentioned a movie or something. I'm not sure what movie they're talking about. It could be Transformers 1. That could be what that they're referring to. But yeah, I thought it was originally the figure from Prime, but it doesn't look like it exactly.
Herself. Yeah, she ended up being a fantastic figure. She ends up having butterfly articulation just because of the way that she transforms. So she has a bit of extra posability in her arms. Yeah, obviously it's a gray model, so it is a little bit loose. The joints will be tighter in the end. Yeah, I hope you all kind of enjoy this little sneak peek that we have going on here.
I'll be honest, I do appreciate that they went out like this. You never really get to see that often behind the curtains, so it's nice to actually see behind the curtains what they're cooking. Yeah, I may never buy this figure because if it is a Transformers 1 figure, I'm never gonna buy it. But at least it's nice to know like what goes into the construction and production of these figures.
Yeah. So first look at Arachnid, and obviously no pre-orders today.
Nope. This is just the first peek of 2026. Again, we want you to get the first looks from us.
Yes.
So
Yes,
we're trying to always improve and listening to your comments and responding to it. Because again, we don't want theories. We want you guys to know, oh no, I know exactly what Arachnid is going to be because I saw it on the fan stream, and it is a deluxe scale, and the drone does spin and all those things. So yeah, this is awesome. But
And then I guess we have one more that we're gonna
one
show.
more gray model to show. Although this is
Well, it's gonna be
great.
a gray model and an ET1.
Which I love the EP ones because it's also so like, oh my gosh, I kind of want them in those colors.
Yeah.
So of course, this is Alpha Trine. Again, this is also from Transformers 1. Take it away, Evan.
Yep. So this is a Voyager, also done by Ajima-san. Give me one moment while I.
Prototype model shown. Final product may vary. Okay, at least they're being honest.
Get him to stand up because it's a gray model. There we go. So obviously, the wizened teacher that also has to maybe not make it to the end of the film. Spoiler alert. who gives everybody their cogs. We wanted to make sure to get him in there. He was monstrous compared to the rest of the bots in there, so that's why he is a Voyager scale. He turns into a unicorn lion, which is very interesting.
Of course.
And has some history in Transformers as a redeco and a bunch of weirdness there that they were pulling from. Happy to get it in there. He does have the sculpted battle damage and the rust and the grime and the kind of like the broken down aspects that you see him in when he is brought back to life in the film.
I'll show the back where you can really see some of the details you put on there.
Yeah, that was one of the like design flourishes that we wanted to make sure to bring into this. To really separate it from the kids line main toy, which was just done clean. But yeah, obviously we used the movie CAD for this. When in lion mode, he will have an opening jaw and all that fun stuff. We did have to turn his electro tail into like a whip for him, just because you needed something to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a nice figure.
No, it's great, and again, gray model EP1.
Gray model EP1.
Colors will match film. Don't worry. But again, in the spirit of transparency and giving you guys the first looks, again, just first sneak peek into one of our first Voyagers for 2026. Of course, pre-order details to follow in the future, but we're going to start. If you guys like it, I have a strong suspicion you do. We'll continue to show off more of these early models, even if it's not just.
Yeah, I like seeing the models, the workups or whatever you want to call it, the gray models, basically. I like that. Like I said, it gives us a chance to look behind the curtain. Like I just wish. What I wish was that they would actually just come out and be honest with us and say, "Hey, 2026. Here's all you're getting. Do like a roadmap. January, you're getting this figure, this figure, this figure, this figure. August, you're getting this figure, this figure, this figure, this figure. 2027, you're getting this figure. I wish that they would do something like that. I think this is a good step forward, when it comes to looking behind the curtain. But I just wish that way we can at least know what's going to be coming like 2026, 2027, and we can plan out, like, do I want to buy whatever the next Optimus Prime is? Do I want to buy whatever the next Shockwave? I just wish that they would do that. But hey, this is a good, step forward at least.
For pre-orders, just to give you an early look. And just kind of see what Evan's cooking up.
Well, and Mark and everybody else.
And Mark and everybody, just give you these kind of first peeks. So hopefully you guys really appreciate this. Those are the only two gray models we have for today.
Yeah, we're going to pace things out. Obviously. Yes. As we do more streams in the future, we'll reveal more. We're not going to reveal everything in 2026 just yet.
And we still got to save some news for Comic-Con month, so there'll be some more news, especially on 2026 product and exclusives at San Diego Comic-Con. And then something else kind of new.
Okay.
I think. Again, we did our fan stream a couple weeks ago with Mark on Age of the Primes, and I asked you specifically to please comment on our Commander price point. Really appreciate all the comments. All sorts of different things.
Okay.
I think one of the biggest things that I took away from it was, please, more combiners, which no surprise there. The two that I saw in a not mathematical dated way, I just kind of looked at the comments and like the names that kept popping up, Defensor and Predaking seemed.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere, I was on Facebook, I think there was like a rumor that we were going to be getting like a Predaking coming out, which is fine. I like that. I like getting updated versions of characters because as you can see here, I have Predaking, but to me, he's really tall, and I understand that he's supposed to be one of the taller combiners. It's just, I would like all my figures to kind of just all have kind of a uniform height and everything.
To be, and there was definitely some Rail Racer love.
Oh, okay.
There was all sorts of love out there, but
so all eras. Okay.
Yeah, so it really seemed like Defensor and Predaking seemed to be the top two. Thoughts on those?
Everybody likes the Protectobots.
Yes.
And it's interesting because we have Bruticus coming. I guess the Protectobots and Bruticus are kind of like the opposing force.
I'm actually shocked that we've never gotten the train combiners. I understand that's more of a Japan thing. But you would still think that they would release them in America at least once. I don't think they've ever been released mainline in the United States.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. because then you hear like voice chat and people are like Computron, like they didn't know how to say the name, but it's like, oh, you uncultured swine.
Why doesn't anybody understand me?
Yeah. Rail Racer would be amazing. Those would each piece would be a Titan, because he is monstrous.
Yes.
But that would be a lot of fun. Predaking is also huge. Obviously, that would be awesome.
Yeah, because what was like 5-6 years ago was the last time we did Predaking, maybe even longer ago.
He was a Titan box
Combiner
set
Wars.
back in the day.
Yeah.
And they made him like just as big as Devastator, maybe a little bit bigger. But yeah, he would be very fun to do. Obviously, there will be more combiners
Yes.
coming.
More to
And
come.
We love them. I don't know if we can confirm or deny other than Bruticus. But going forward, yes, please expect more combiners.
Yes, absolutely. So again, appreciate your comments and feedback. And a couple people were talking about, I made the comment, which I'm honestly quoting you and Mark, where we don't ever like to leave a collection incomplete.
Yep.
So if we do one Seeker, we want to do it, of course.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, we only have so many slots, so much tooling per year, and we do our best to do kind of a inch deep, mile wide on the fandoms, recognizing that really kind of every content for Transformers is somebody's G1, whether it's Beast Wars, obviously G1, even Transformers 1 with, I think a really new generation was introduced to
so.
I sure hope so. With Rise of the Beast 2, back-to-back movie years,
Yeah.
so hopefully that's really resonating as well. So talking about collections, two names that come out very often that I see pretty regularly, especially when it comes to these things, because someone called me out, was like, Nate says he's going to complete every collection, but what about
Mud Flap and Skid?
Yes.
Okay.
Please talk us through that.
I think that's more of an eventuality. Right now, not so much. We bring it up every once in a while, and we put feelers out like with like our greater team.
Yep.
And we're trying to see like what everybody's feeling. And every once in a while, it's just like, no, not yet. I'll never say never on this, though.
Absolutely.
I think it is an eventuality. I think we will get there eventually, just not right now.
Yeah. So you said that very well, because this is different than the discussion on Megatron
It
between
is.
Blaster and tank mode, because that is a legal thing.
Yeah.
There's no gray area there. We just can't do it.
Yeah.
These guys is more, how did you describe it earlier? You said it was like an emotional thing. So we know there's strong opinions on just make the stinking collection. And there's others people like, no. But to wrap that up, for now, there are no plans. That is not a never.
Yeah.
We are fully, I think the biggest thing is we fully aware that those are two gaping holes in the collection. So it's hopefully a potentiality, but
I'll be honest, I was kind of checking out something on my computer, and I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm just letting them talk. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I heard them talking about Megatron, but I don't know what else they're talking about.
we'll see. Again, Evan and I probably every year kind of gauge the interest across the team.
It's not just us. It's also Zara and everybody else asking. Like, so it's an eventuality. It will happen eventually.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope. That's a good way to put it.
So thank you on that's great, Evan. And then the last comment that I saw and it struck out to me is again back to combiners.
Okay.
Monstructor.
Oh. I think fans realize that the pieces are out there. Yeah, I used those molds a couple times, but maybe he's coming, and maybe he.
This is something I always kind of rag on Hasbro about. Hasbro is a multi-million-dollar company. Yet they cannot afford to give these poor guys a motorized turntable. I have like 3 turntables that are all motorized. They're all awesome. You would think that they could afford a fucking motorized turntable, you know? Like, okay.
I promise you, he won't be dinosaurs.
Yes.
That's how I'll put that.
So yeah. So stay tuned on Monstructor.
Yep.
Potentially coming. Potentially coming.
Potentially coming.
But appreciate that comment. And again, thanks for all the comments. We do read it. We definitely care about what you guys think and how we're doing, how the toys are doing, and of course, that leads to actually our first, I think probably not ever, but at least on our fan streams, my first fan poll question.
Yeah,
this is.
let's do it.
I stop by Evan's desk on a daily basis.
Okay, so this is what I was kind of talking about earlier, where I think this is just I think these are literally just videos that are uploaded as a stream. What I think it is I think they have some poor underpaid intern literally like waiting for this portion of the video they then go to the Hasbro YouTube page and they put this poll in the chat.
To just talk shop and throw ideas at them and just talk about what we're doing for years and certain designs and whatnot, which Evan is amazing to work with, as you guys know, especially those who have met him.
I'm amazed you can fit an Atlas with how much junk is in there sometimes. Everybody has to like crawl and shuffle in, and it's like, yeah, I know I live here.
If only you didn't have so much secret stuff in there, I would love to like, give a cribs tour of your desk. But let's get to the
one room you've ever seen.
Yeah. So here is the question.
Yeah.
I have asked this to Evan. We've had this discussion. I'm not going to clue you into who's on which side. You're probably going to know it. But here is the question, and this is about as short as I could get it. So, do you want to see toys of characters from season 1 and 2 of the G1 cartoon that did not appear in the 86 movie in the Studio Series 86 segment?
Sure, why not? I think, yeah, sure. Everything seems to be bleeding in nowadays. It's like, if I remember correctly, the original concept for Studio Series was that they were supposed to be, new figures that were more accurate to the movies. Well, we're now getting figures that were in mainline that are starting to slowly make their way into Studio Series. So that sure, why not? If anything, at least we get, additional new molds of these characters. Like, say, Wind Charger, I think that's what his name is. We haven't got a new Wind Charger since, like, what, Titans Return? So, if anything, at least it gets, characters with new molds.
Yes. Is that too weird? Is that blasphemous?
No.
Is that
no,
awesome?
Not at all.
Yes, please, because these guys were in the world. And I'm not talking concept art like Inferno, where he's literally in the credits. I'm talking about...
Well, yeah, we've had this conversation many times because obviously there are different versions of the script. There are storyboards that show different characters and with scenes that got cut. And it always turned out to be a what is okay to show in Studio Series and label it Studio Series. So that's why we're reaching out and asking all of you, like, what do you all prefer? I'm assuming they want more. Everybody wants.
That's my hunch. But I again, we would please answer the questions. Just simple yes or no. We will certainly put that in our toolkit as far as what we have plans in the future. As I mentioned, we're knee deep in 2027 planning right now.
Yep.
We are, I don't have a percentage, but we're probably like 75% done with the 86 cast.
Yeah, that's a good number.
I'm still waiting for Hasbro to release. It would have to be like in a little tin, ashes that would represent Starscream. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a little tin of ashes and be like, it could be literally just like a joke release. And I mean, sell it for no more than like $5. It's like Starscream, 1986, and then on the package, it'd be like a pile of ashes or some shit, I would like to see something like that.
Hard to put there. I know people have quoted me slightly right and wrong about saying we'll be done with 86 in 2026, and it's like, well, we'll just be reaching the bottom of the barrel.
Yes,
like that there will be more. There's always more. I can mine deeper. I can go deeper. There's no bottom.
This one animation cell, this one interview back in 1986 that someone said I recorded lines, but I got cut.
This one animation error.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so please help us out there.
Yeah.
But that
I think that's our stream.
Yeah, that's the whole stream. So again, 1 p.m. Eastern today, all the Studio Series except for the gray models are live for pre-orders. The timelines will be at San Diego Comic-Con. See now, buy now. More details to follow with that. Really excited to get these gray models out there. Really excited about the fan poll question.
Yeah,
I'll be refreshing the video with the answers and talking to Evan about that. So really excited about that.
No, I'm glad you do that.
Okay, so that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's just do this. There you go. Overall, I'm happy with what they showed. The major question was answered regarding Studio Series Megatron. We are finally getting Megatron. Sadly, if you were hoping that he was going to be a gun, it's not happening. as much as I would like it to be a gun, it's not happening. I understand that. That is just something we have to kind of move on from. And but overall the figure looks awesome. Figure looks awesome. We got to see Mixmaster, so that looks awesome also. And then okay, I can't recall what the other one was called. But basically the Constructicons are complete. They're going to be released within the next few months. Then we'll have Devastator. I love how Devastator scales with Optimus Prime. He is not some fucking huge, tall Goliath like what there was in Combiner Wars, which is nice. We got some Transformer 1 figures, at least one of them. We got Elita 1, if you're a fan of Transformers 1. Something for you to look forward to. We got the Gamer Edition Thundercracker. Finally, hold on. Finally, my Starscream and Skywarp are going to have their their partner basically. So that's good. We got to look at some concept or some gray figures basically. They're real early prototypes. We got Arachnid, or how you pronounce her name, and Transformer 1 Alpha Trion. So overall, this was actually a pretty good Hasbro Pulse fan stream. I'm pretty happy with it. There was also the those time period specific releases of it was Iron Hearts. I think that's what it was called. We got those. The Optimus Prime. I think it's Optimus Prime Starscream set is already being sold at retail, I guess. The Megatron Bumblebee, apparently that's going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, possibly. I'm not sure if it's exclusive or whatnot, but you can pick it up there. Yeah, that kind of closes out this fan stream. I don't think we're going to be getting another fan stream this year. We may, if we do, I would say it's going to be September, October-ish. But they already said that they're pretty much done with 2026, figures and everything. So we'll just have to wait and see. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to get it all edited and uploaded, and I will see you next time. My name is Jeff, aka GCurse. Wishing you all a great day. Stay safe, everybody. Peace out.